You know, back in my day, we only had one console. So yes, that's what I'm about to talk about. Yes, I do not understand. I just do not understand. I was listening to Rich of Review Tech USA today, and this is something that I often do. He produces videos almost every single day, and they're mostly news regurgitation reports, but I tend to like his opinion enough to listen to him in the mornings as I get ready for work. Well, I'm behind on his videos, and he's talking about consoles, specifically talking about console variants. And it got me thinking about this whole thing. I don't understand why we're doing this. Look, okay, you have let's just cut back to the last generation. Okay, you have a PS4 or a PS4 Pro. Okay? These were mid-generation refreshes because obviously, as I've made it known before, the PlayStation 4 did not feel next gen. It didn't. It felt like it was wrong, like it was missing something, like it wasn't a proper jump forward. It just felt like a powerful PlayStation 3, and I remember that really bothered me. And now I'm looking at these new consoles that are about to come out, and I'm reminded of the last generation, like with the Xbox 360. With the Xbox 360, you could get the Xbox 360, or you could get the Elite, or you could get the Arcade, or it just... And now we're going to do this crap again because there's an Xbox and a PlayStation coming out. And now with the PlayStation, I'm hearing that there's going to be a disc drive and not a disc drive. Okay, all right. Then I'm hearing with the Xbox, there's going to be a powerful version and a less powerful version. And Microsoft is releasing all this stuff about how, depending on which one you pick, it's not going to affect your actual gaming, blah, 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 yeah. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Do not, if you're one of the people that's about to do this, do not buy the lesser version. Do not let them do this to us. This is a marketing practice which is absolutely fucking disgusting. Guys, I realize I'm a fossil. I'm 36 years old. I'm old Bill Logan. I'm sorry. But when I grew up, there was a Nintendo. There was a Super Nintendo. There was a Sega Genesis. And this hardware allowed everybody who had it to play the same games the same way. Same for PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Xbox. It was when we got... I'll say it was once we entered the 360 PlayStation 3 era. This is when things took a turn for me. There should be no console variants. I don't care about consumer choice or anything like that. The PlayStation 3 should have just been the PlayStation 3. It should have had a standard size hard drive that then, if you chose to, you could upgrade. But there shouldn't have been a bunch of variants at launch. You shouldn't have been able to pick from the 50 gig, 100 gig, just 500 gig, whatever. Look, I'm tired of watching these variants pop up. And here's the reason why. You're going to go out and you're going to buy an Xbox, okay? Just for argument purposes. That's what you're getting on this next generation. And if you're one of the people that's about to go out and buy the lesser version, why would you do that to yourself? Why? Look, it's going to save you $100, okay? That's going to be some people's argument. Well, my argument is this. If you've already saved up $400. You've already proven that you can save by the hundreds. Just save an extra $100 and buy the console the way it should have been released to begin with. There should have been no lesser variant. The only thing a lesser variant does is create a problem later on when your buddy has better games than you. The same game, but it's better. It plays better. It plays faster. It has features that you don't have. It can do things that yours doesn't do well. Like, I don't see a purpose to this. And I realize that this is just kind of a offhand rant. Bill doesn't want multiple consoles. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't. I get it. I'm old, okay? I remember buying the Super Nintendo, and I would go to my friends, and it was the same Super Nintendo. It was the same one. We played the same game with the same speed, with the same visuals. The only difference was his TV was different than mine. And nowadays, with all these variant consoles coming out, if you're going to buy the lesser variant console, only to then realize some 4 or 5 years down the road that you need to get an update. Because stop and think about this, guys. They just did it on the PlayStation 4. This generation went halfway through its life cycle and then released updates. Updates to the console, which you could say that, yeah, but you don't need it, and blah, 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 and PlayStation Pro. Well, I'm going to tell you from experience, from 100% without a doubt experience on the PlayStation parties that I was in the groups that I was in, we were playing ESO, just something simple across the board to reference. I would post a photo from what I was doing, and then my buddy who was playing on a pro would post a photo of what he was doing. And it felt like we were playing different games. And that made me feel inferior to a point where I wanted to go and buy a PlayStation Pro. Now, I didn't do it, but I have friends that did do it. And it's those friends that get me thinking about this upcoming generation of consoles. If you go out and buy the lesser of the Xboxes, you know that in 3 to 4, maybe 5 years at the most, but I'm calling it now. I think it's only going to be about 4 years at the very, very most, the very longest. There's just going to be another console upgrade. There's going to be a new Xbox Pro thing, dealy, better system. And that better, quote, system is going to be something else, another variant step. And if we're getting into this kind of stuff, this is what I think is really boiling down in my mind here. Recently, about last year, I made a decision to switch to PC, to take myself out of the consoles because of where they were going and where I was watching them go. And at this point in time, if you are buying a new variant console every 4 years, and when you buy those consoles, you're already being given the choices of this is the less powerful one, but it's got this and it's got that, and then this one has more power and it could do this and it could do that, and then it depends on your setup and blah 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 and this and that and your components. And if it's going to be this fucking complicated to where we're picking versions of the console that we want, and by the time we're done with this new line of Xboxes, there's going to be 4 fucking variant consoles. There's going to be more than that, because there's going to be a console that has this much space, and a console that has this much space, and a console that has this graphic power, and then a console that has more graphic power, and then later on down the line, another console that has even more graphic power because fucking reasons. Why are you even bothering? Why even bother? Guys, it's what made the console generation work. What made consoles sell for all these years is the simplicity of it. We buy it, we put the game in, we plug it into the TV, we play it. That was it. It was that simple. Computers were more complicated. It's gotten so much simpler with systems like Steam and and Epic Games and so on and so forth. It's so accessible now compared to where it was just 10 years ago. And if we're already talking about variants and upgrades and refreshes and shit like that every 4 years, you're better off just buying a computer and putting in the time to learn what you need to learn, to buy a new graphics card every 3, 4, 5 years. And then you can do so much more with your PC. I see all this crap in consoles now talking about, like I said, the PlayStation parties and PlayStation groups. And why is that necessary? Get a computer, get Discord. I'm not trying to be pro-computer here. I'm trying to say that the convenience of the console is dying a generation at a time. It's becoming more complicated and more stupid. When your parents went out to buy you a Nintendo, they just bought a Nintendo. They bought a Sega Genesis. They bought a Super Nintendo. They bought a PlayStation 1. They bought a PlayStation 2. These were simple choices. And then PlayStation 3 came around. And when that generation hit us, all of a sudden it was your grandma or grandpa or mom or dad went into the store and they were like, okay, well, I got to get an Xbox. And they were like, well, what one do you want? Because we have the Xbox 360 Elite, we have the Xbox 360 Pro, we have the Xbox 360 Arcade, we have the Xbox 360 max storage, yada. It's just stupid. And then what happens? They're like, well, which one is the cheapest one? And they're like, this one right here is the cheapest one. This one doesn't have a hard drive. And what does that mean to your parents? They don't give a fuck. They don't know what the fuck that means. So they bought that shitty one and they brought it home to you and you didn't have a hard drive and you couldn't even save. And it's these kind of problems that are going to perpetuate the market now. Because, yes, while we may be adults and we may understand what we're going to buy, because I'm not going to buy the lesser system. You're not going to convince me that the lesser system makes any sense when you know there's going to be a console fucking refresh not but 3 to 4 years after these damn things launch. And you already know if you have the experience of these consoles that by the time you get that console and you start filling it up, you're going to come across a point not but a year down into the lifespan of your system where you're like, there's not enough space on the system. I need a bigger fucking hard drive. With these kinds of problems perpetuating the market, kids are going to get screwed. And it's going to hurt the console market in general for kids to have negative experiences and negative opinions about consoles going forward because their mommies and daddies bought them crap that they didn't understand. And when mommy and daddy went to the store, what did they do? They saw the one that costs $150 less and they were like, oh, well, I don't see any difference. I'm buying that. The average parent either doesn't have the money, doesn't have the know-how, or doesn't have the give a fuck to look into this. I can't tell you how much of a minority I am where I work. I work in a place that is very hard labor. It is a warehouse situation. And that place is devoid of people like me. I cannot tell you how many times a fucking day around Christmas I get people that come to me to ask me what they should buy for their kids. My kid wants a video game. My kid wants a computer. My kid wants a so-and-so. My kid wants a system, but I see that there's like 9 variants of the system. This one's cheaper. Should I buy this one? No, you fucking shouldn't. But you know what? Not every parent has me to go to tell them that if they buy the lesser now, they're just going to buy it again later. And these fucking companies that are releasing all these variant systems, they're not making it accessible to the rest of the market. They're nickeling and diming us to death with these stupid options, because even somebody like me that knows this situation, if I have $500 right now and that's all I have, and I go to the store and there's an Xbox worth $500 and an Xbox worth $400, neither one of them come with a game, well, I want it right now. I want it. I'm telling you, avoid this scenario. Wait. If you have enough, if you don't have enough, if you have enough for the lesser and you don't have enough for the actual system, the one that's releasing at full specs, that's the one you buy. Do not buy the lesser variant. I don't care what they fucking say, because you're only biting your own ass cheeks. And that is stupid. I'm telling you right now, we're getting to a point in consoles where it's getting so diluted and so less convenient that you may as well just hop to PC and be done with the whole fucking thing and get yourself a workspace that you can upgrade over time and then do all kinds of things that you want to do. Because the consoles thrived on the fact that they were convenient, and they no longer are. But hey, maybe that's just me. I'm going to get out of here. I have spoken. Take what you will from it.